Thank you so much, Sam. We have learned so many things, but one I would like to emphasize the position she holds. That's huge, but still she has to face those questions, and still she has to fight against those social norms which generalize that you cannot do that or you should do a certain thing as you are a woman. So yes, this needs to change. We have come so far, but yet a long way to go. Now it's time for our second keynote speaker. Well, she is a French lady, but she has been living for more than 10 years in Bangladesh and have 20 years of experience in design, sourcing, and managing offices. She created fashion theory from concept to reality. She is also a co-founder of the project, which is a non-profit organization who emphasize the recruitment, of transgender in the textile work. Also, she is a co-founder of Upside Bomb. So now it's time to hear something from her, and she is Enlo Pedgert. Please welcome Enlo Pedgert on the dais, please. আমি যখন একজন স্পিকারকে আসলে ডায়াসে ডাকছি our incredible lady of the evening, so আরেকটু জোরে আশা করছি হাততালিটা সবার কাছ থেকে. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. I will try not to repeat the very essential points that Fawzia had said, but they were also in my speech, unfortunately. So it's been 44 years since UN officialized the International Women Day. And that year is the year when I landed in this world. I was 1.5 months only, the first 8th of March 1977. By chance, it was in France, a country who initiated human rights, who is ranked the world's best country in terms of girl education. And it's the 15th on the 153 countries for its gender equality. So that may sound great from a Bangladeshi perspective, but yet we were not able to have in a higher political position any woman in our country. In France, the women's salaries are still lower than the men's one for an equal job. In France, every 2 days, one woman is murdered by her companion. And in France, more than 60,000 women are raped every year. So even if France represented one of the best countries in terms of gender equality, you can easily see that it is far from the reality. We are yet not equal to men. So the International Women's Day for me is not a celebration of being a woman. It's a reminder on the fight going on to become one day equal to men. Sorry, I take back my breath. So I have been raised by a very strong woman, a feminist woman, who taught me that there is no physical and no intellectual limits to my dreams. Then I could pretend to have anything else than a man could have. But in the same time, as most of the women of that generation, she were not acting as such. I have seen her working outside like my dad. I have seen her going back home, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids. And as the society was expecting from her, her days were totally endless. It was not the case of my father. But now let's go back to me and my experience in Bangladesh, because this is what I'm supposed to share. So as you were saying, I am in Bangladesh since 11 years now. When I arrived in 2010, I remember that there were some hartal in the street, some riots, because of a law that the government wanted to pass. They passed the law to make the inheritance equal between girls and boys. And some people were not agree with that, and they were striking in the street. when I understood that they were making strike to go back to a law who was looking to me an improvement, I was quite surprised. And I was discussing with one of my guy in the office. So he was explaining me the situation. And I asked him, like, and what's your opinion? What do you think about that? Do you think that women should have the same amount of asset as the boy, girls as boys? And he told me that he was agree with the strikers. He was working with me and agree with the strikers. So I was like, okay, can you please explain me? Then, after a few words of explanation, I came to understand that for him, men were more intelligent than women, so they were more able to handle the money of the family. Then, when I dig the subject, he explained me that men were more clever because they were gifted by God of intelligence. I didn't ask him what we have been gifted about, but apparently men have the intelligence. So that moment I asked him, like, okay, so between me and my boyfriend, who is the most intelligent? Ah, it's your boyfriend, mom. Okay. And between me and that guy, another guy, yeah, mom, it's that guy who is the most intelligent. Okay. And then another guy, same answer. He was more intelligent than me. So I picked up the worst fool of the office, the little guy who was not understanding anything all day long. And I asked to that my colleague, so and between Sony and I, who do you think is the more intelligent? And he looked at me laughing. No, madam, in that case, maybe you are more intelligent. Thank you. I was really released. Then that day, I understood that if I had a problem of communication and a problem to make him achieve what I was asking him, it was not at all about because he was lazy or because he was not understanding properly. It was just because my comments were not smarter enough for him because he was a man and I was just a woman. So that was pretty shocking, I have to say. Um, and I don't think it's a Bangladeshi perspective. I think all around the world, women can face the same kind of situation. Um, so I wanted to say that the change is on our shoulder, on the woman's shoulder. We must stop considering beauty, kindness, flexibility as a woman must have. You who are mother, you must raise your son. You should not, sorry, raise your son as have kings. You must treat them exactly as their sisters and teach them to treat all human beings in the same way. We cannot wait for the male to make us equal. We have to get that equality by ourselves. To come back to the COVID situation, during that COVID, I felt a situation that never happened in my life, my professional life. I was jobless. I mean, I had nothing to do. Factories were closed. I'm working in garments, and my customer were not working either. So I had, for the first time in my life, the time to think about what was important for me. And it's at that moment that I decided to create the project that we just talked about before. The project is an organization who encourage the garment factory to hire transgender women, because to me, transgender women are also women. They are the ones who choose to be a woman. We all of us born as a woman. We didn't have that choice. We didn't have the choice to leave that burden. But those girls, they chose it. This is quite incredible to me. Just applause to them. So today I would like to dedicate my speech to the 1 million transgender women of Bangladesh who are fighting every day much more than we even fight ourselves. And I would like to encourage everyone to consider them as women and to open their arms to their struggle and to help them every day. Um, yes, I will conclude my speech by saying that I wish to see the day where gender will not be a fact of difference for security, for responsibility, for behavior, for chances, even for dress code. I wish to all of us a great evening, and I wish to all of us to wake up tomorrow with a flavor of fight inside to keep going to fight for the human rights. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was incredible, actually, how she described her journey in France and also in Bangladesh. So often we think that maybe we are a developing country in Bangladesh. Yes, Bangladesh is a developing country, and maybe things are worse here comparatively other countries, other developed countries in the world. But no, more or less things are just the same. Thank you so much, Enzo Pettigrew, once again. So now, time for our third keynote speaker. তার সম্পর্কে একটু যদি আমি বলি, তিনি বুয়েট থেকে তার গ্রাজুয়েশন শেষ করেছিলেন এবং আমাদের জার্নিতে আসলে আমাদের যে সফলতার যে পথটা, সফল হবার যে পথ কাজের ক্ষেত্রে, কাজের কিছু স্ট্রাগল থাকে, সেখানে আমাদেরকে ফাইট করতে হয়। একই সাথে আমাদের ব্যক্তি জীবনেও কিন্তু অনেক ধরনের ক্রাইসিস থাকে, সেগুলোকেও আমাদের আসলে ফেস করতে হয়। So Dilruba Firdaus Shubhra, she was in an unknown land with her 16 months child. She was all alone and everybody told her that she cannot do it, but she did it. What did she do? Well, we will hear it from her. Please welcome Ms. Dilruba Firdaus Shubhra, Assistant Professor, Department of Architecture, BRAC University, co-founder of Re Studio and lead architect of Social Architecture Project, Oxfam, Bangladesh. Welcome, Dilruba Firdaus Shubhra.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Women's Day, and I'm honored to be here and speak for women and in this celebrating event. I would like to thank you to give me the opportunity in this platform to speak for women and who are making a difference every day, everywhere. So today, I'm very much inspired with these incredible women, and I will share my stories. And before that, I will share my thoughts about this women empowerment, equality. So every day, Fauzia Abba was saying when we were sitting in the green room that in the leadership position, there are the ratio of women is very low. So why is that? I had some research about this thing, and I would like to share these insights with you. So why we see less women in the leadership role, or what are the struggles women really face? So I will talk about these thoughts, belief, and few insights of my research, and will share my little stories too. We have developed a culture to see women as an equal partners in all affairs. It's very seen, it's very evident. And we take women and their efforts as taken for granted. It is actually related with power, the struggle of power that involves us in daily battle, a battle that is influencing and commanding, or when all fails, forcing people to do what we want, while at the same time preventing them from using their will over us. I cannot agree more when a socialist, Tom Ingalls, says about power, what is power, that extends beyond this mosaic of interpersonal struggle. It is invested in rules, regulations, in all the discourses, practice, and it flows through us like an electric field. So it's all about the struggle of power. And we all know the empowerment. We always talk about it. The word empowerment is a very buzzing word nowadays. What does it mean actually? In a very simple way, it means giving power to someone, giving the authority to someone. And why are we so concerned about women's empowerment? It's very simple, because justified balance in the power structure has not been achieved yet, and women are still far behind. At this point, I would like to talk about emancipation at the same time, which is very much related term with empowerment. And what Engel's argument is about, empowerment and emancipation, he says, empowerment involves people to develop capacities so that they could act successfully within existing system and existing structure of power, while emancipation concerns critically analyzing, resisting, and challenging the structure of power. Emancipation is more about self-realization. It could be individual or it could be collective. It's about building personal capacity of consciousness that makes one or a group to overcome their self-made and other exclusionary restrictions and personal boundaries. So hence emancipation and empowerment for women walk and grow side by side, and it has even similar impact in the process of development, growth, and advancement. So in today's world, only empowerment is not enough. We need empowerment and emancipation at the same time so that we can challenge, we can take decisions, we can have the voice. Another very important issue is related with equality. We are very much concerned about equality today. And by definition, equality means, it's the state of being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. Gender equality is when people of all genders have equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities. Everyone is affected by gender inequalities: women, men, transgender, children, families, everybody. And societies that value women and men as equal are the safer and healthier. And we want a safer and healthier world for us. To have a safer and healthier world, gender equality is a must in this path. But I believe sometimes this equality may not be enough or bring justice. So we need to be open towards gender equity too, which means fairness of treatment for men and women according to their respective needs. This may include equal treatment or treatment that is different, but which is considered equivalent in terms of rights, benefits, obligations, and opportunities. So gender equity and equality. We need to be open towards equity too, to have the justice. Because at the end, we want a just world for everybody. I don't think you all know, but since I have some research, I would like to share this some information. The International Labor Organization calculates that apart from a full-time paid work, on an average, women around the world perform 4 hours and 25 minutes of unpaid work every day, which is 1 hour and 23 minutes for men. What do you think the ratio would be for our working women? The women who are working in our country, in our context. We cannot imagine that. Our women are giving full-time 3 shifts of work, where only the first shift gets paid, and the second and third shifts remain unrecognized, unpaid, and devalued. So I will talk about these 3 shifts within few moments. As I said before, gender inequality affects everyone, including men. Stereotypes or rules about how women and men, girls and boys should be begin from the childhood and follows us through the adulthood. Women are playing a significant role in the world economy nowadays, playing the role of leadership, but facing gender inequality, gender inequity in every sector and every day. I was reading a paper a few days ago, written by Kate Power. She is an independent researcher and consultant from Germany. I would like to share a few insights from her research, which matches with my research also and views and beliefs. And this is very relatable for every working woman. The unpaid care work is called with various names. the care economy, the core economy, and the reproductive economy. And very informally, it is sometimes referred to as the hypocrisy economy. Yes, hypocrisy economy. When people talk about empowering women, because they now also work outside the home in paid economy, in addition to taking care of their children and home, without any systemic attempt to encourage or enable men to take more responsibility. Referring to sociologist Ariel Hochschild, she said that the job, she called this job as the second shift. So we found what the second shift is, and mostly the second shift is taken care of by the women. And more recently, feminist economists have drawn attention to third shift, which refers to the undervalued and unpaid emotional labor that is ensuring the emotional well-being of not only children but also parents and other family members. In other words, women are in charge of mental load of worrying about family, not the men. The worrying job is for women only. How is it fair? The aspiration that women can have it all is an absolute need for many, many, many women. The second and third shift of unpaid labor and responsibilities have a huge negative impact and measurable negative impact on women's participation in the paid economy. I have experienced it, and I'm sure most of the women sitting here have experienced it. In my early career, after my BR graduation from BUET, I worked under two great architects. Architect Marina Tabassum, who you know is the winner of Aga Khan Award, and architect Sheikh Hasanullah Mojumdar. And both of them have their bold signature in practice and teaching. And working with them inspired me to build my career both in academia and in practice. I'm an architect and educator, a single mother, a daughter, a sister also, and I am privileged to have opportunities to study in one of the best schools, colleges, and universities in my country and abroad, maybe the best ones. I'm raised to be a human first and then a woman. I'm raised to be honest, independent, responsible, and I'm raised to respect people and care for people. This did not prevent me to face gender inequality in the field of my job, practice, and at home too. I had to end my partnership in practice and in personal life in response to an unequal share of responsibilities and commitment at work and at home. After that, I took a break and I went to pursue my master's degree at KU Leuven, Belgium, with my little boy when he was only 16 months old. And there were people who thought that I'm crazy and I will not make it. But you know, I was not crazy. I was being brave. I believed in me and I did excellent. And so did my kid. When I told my professor yesterday that I will be one of the keynote speakers today, and he was very happy, and he told me that you will do great, Dilruba. And this is encouragement. You know, he knew what I can do. After coming back, I continued my teaching in the Department of Architecture, AIUB, and later I joined the Brack University. I co-founded MRI Studio with two incredible women, Sayyida Tuhinara Karim and Farzana Siddiqa. Sayyida Tuhinara Karim, who is known mostly as Ofi Karim, is one of the experts in landscape architecture in Bangladesh, if you don't know. And Farzana Siddiqa is an excellent architect and urbanist.